By 2020, you were supposed to never drive again. That's what the world's biggest companies promised, because of a single desert race. In 2004, not one self-driving car finished. By 2005, one did. Billions bet that autonomy would make human driving obsolete. 200 million cars, 40% of road space just for parking, all supposed to vanish within a generation. That generation came and went. For more than a century, the world was built around the car. By 2010, the average American household owned nearly 2 vehicles, 1.9 vehicles per home. Highways stretched across continents, and entire cities gave up almost half their road space, 40%, just to park all those cars. Suburbs grew around office parks where parking lots covered 60% of the land. Zoning laws required minimum parking at every new building, and free curbside spaces became a silent subsidy for drivers. The economics locked in a cycle. Fuel taxes, parking fees, and registration funded more roads, more lots, more driving. Public transit, meanwhile, struggled for funding, its budget tied directly to the same car-centric revenue streams. But it was not just about infrastructure or money. Car ownership became a symbol of independence, woven into advertising and the national story. Take the Wheel campaigns promised freedom and control, and for many, driving was a rite of passage. Political coalitions formed around the status quo, channeling billions into highway expansion and parking subsidies. The system seemed permanent, unchangeable. It was so deeply rooted that replacing it looked almost impossible. Any alternative would have to break not just physical barriers, but cultural and economic ones as well. In March 2004, the Mojave Desert became the proving ground for a wild idea, a race for driverless cars. 15 teams lined up for DARPA's Grand Challenge, each prototype packed with sensors and hope. No vehicle finished. One veered off course after just a few miles. Another caught fire. The longest run, 7 miles, ended in a ditch. The world watched as robots failed spectacularly, but the spectacle sparked something bigger. A year later, the desert saw a different story. On October 8, 2005, Stanford's team, led by Sebastian Thrun, entered a boxy Volkswagen Touareg named Stanley. LiDAR scanners spun on the roof, computers hummed in the trunk, and custom code mapped every bump in the sand. Stanley crossed the finish line in just under 7 hours, the first to ever complete the course. The $2 million prize was theirs. Headlines called it a breakthrough. Robots had conquered the desert. Investors took notice. The promise felt real. That victory did not stay in the desert. Thrun left Stanford to join Google in 2009, launching the secretive self-driving car project. Google's test Priuses logged hundreds of thousands of miles, quietly navigating city streets. By 2016, the project spun out as Waymo, a standalone company ready to take autonomy to the next level. Suddenly, it looked like the future was arriving fast. Hype soared, funding poured in. The race was on, not just for technical glory, but to transform how the world moves. The promise of self-driving cars was not just a battle of code and clever engineering. It was a war against staggering costs and invisible maintenance, the kind that did not fit into glossy launch videos. In the early 2010s, a single spinning LiDAR, the crown jewel of autonomy, had a price tag of $75,000. Outfitting just one test vehicle with a full sensor suite could rival the price of a luxury sedan. Multiply that across an entire fleet, and the economics spiraled out of reach for all but the most deep-pocketed backers. Hardware was not the only hurdle. The roads themselves had to be remapped in high definition. Every lane, curb, and sign precisely measured. Building these high-definition maps cost between $5,000 and $7,000 per mile. Updating them to track construction, weather, and new signage became a relentless, expensive chore. Upwards of $10 million a year for a single city. Every time a road changed, the map had to change too. The business case for robo-taxis started to wobble. Even as LiDAR prices dropped, falling below $3,000 by the early 2020s, the recurring costs of map upkeep and data validation kept climbing. And then came the safety math. Regulators and insurers demanded proof, 10 billion miles of safe driving before anyone would call a system trustworthy. At an average of 5 to 8 cents per mile for data collection and analysis, that is $500 million just to reach the threshold. Most startups never made it close. Only giants Hawaiians like Waymo could afford to log 20 billion miles, both real and simulated, before launching even a limited service. The dream of universal rollout stalled, not because engineers ran out of ideas, but because the numbers refused to add up. For a moment, it seemed the future was trapped behind a paywall no one could break. Self-driving cars promised a leap from human error to machine precision, but the reality proved far more brittle. The industry's own scale, SAE's ladder from level 0 to level 5, became a spectrum of partial wins and stubborn limits. Level 2 and level 3 systems could steer and brake on highways, but only if conditions stayed close to perfect. Rain, glare, or a single misplaced traffic cone could send the system scrambling for a human hand. Engineers ran live demos to show off sensor redundancy, 3 LiDAR units, radar, and a ring of cameras, but the smallest glitch exposed the cracks. LiDAR struggled in fog, cameras washed out in sunlight or froze in darkness, radar bounced off metal trucks, creating ghost obstacles. Machine learning models, trained on millions of sunny miles, stumbled when a street sign was bent or a pedestrian darted out at dusk. This distributional shift, when the real world strayed from the training data, could turn a confident car into a guessing machine. Onboard computers strained to keep up. A full sensor suite demanded hundreds of watts, pushing the limits of a car's power and cooling. In the Arizona summer, a processor running at 500 watts risked thermal shutdown before the afternoon commute finished. To avoid meltdown, developers trimmed model complexity, sacrificing some perception accuracy for the sake of reliability. Virtual miles in simulation became the new gold standard. Waymo logged 20 million simulated miles for every real one. Yet even the best digital twins left gaps. A simulated puddle never splashed the same way. A virtual cyclist never swerved off script. So pilots stayed geo-fenced. In 2017, Waymo launched rides in Phoenix, but only within a tightly mapped grid. The dream of universal autonomy shrank to patches of city, fenced in by technical ceilings and the stubborn unpredictability of real roads. In October 2015, Tesla rolled out Autopilot as a software update, promising hands-free driving on highways. Early footage showed drivers taking their hands off the wheel, some even filming themselves in the back seat. The lines between driver assist and full autonomy blurred. Then, in March 2018, tragedy struck Tempe, Arizona. Elaine Hertzberg, crossing a dark street at night, was hit and killed by an Uber self-driving test vehicle. The car's sensors saw her, but the system failed to recognize a person. The emergency braking was disabled. The safety driver was looking at a phone. The National Transportation Safety Board's 2019 report named the cause, a failure of both human oversight and machine perception. Regulators demanded answers about safety. They urged manufacturers to build in better warnings, redundant sensors, and real driver monitoring. The promise of autonomy now carried a human cost. Labor unions warned of lost jobs. Ethicists raised new questions. The rush to deploy had left real people at risk, and the world was watching. Breakthroughs are reshaping the road ahead. Sensor fusion, once a fragile patchwork, now blends LiDAR, radar, and cameras into a single, always-on perception engine. New fusion algorithms catch edge cases that used to slip through, such as a jaywalker at dusk, or a cyclist hidden in rain. Multimodal AI goes further, learning from video, audio, and even satellite feeds, so a car can recognize not just what is on the road, but how the world is changing around it. Transfer learning lets systems adapt to new cities, or weather with a fraction of the old data requirements. Edge AI chips run these complex models in real time, no longer melting under the hood or draining the battery dry. Regulators and industry groups are closing the gap too. Compliance frameworks now demand transparent reporting, model registries, and third-party audits. The best systems log every decision, creating a digital paper trail for every mile. Improved detection metrics show real progress. False negatives on vulnerable road users have dropped by more than half in the past 3 years. The optimism is measured, but real. With each iteration, the line between promise and reality blurs. The dream is not over. It is just getting smarter, safer, and a little closer to everyday streets. Autonomy still lurks at the edge of the everyday. As AI powers toward new breakthroughs, the road ahead is shaped by decisions we make now, about trust, risk, and who gets to steer the future. Technology keeps replacing itself. The only constant is that the next leap always takes longer than we think. Subscribe for more.